Have you ever done something special for someone, only to realize they didn't even want you there? Because that's what happened to me. I paid thousands for a dream cruise to celebrate my parents' anniversary, but when the tickets arrived, my name wasn't even on the list. And what my dad texted me later that night, it shattered me completely. I've always loved my parents more than anything in the world. They've done so much for me growing up, and I've always wanted to do something big to make them proud. So when their 30th wedding anniversary was coming up, I told myself this time, I'd make it special. Something they'd never forget. I didn't want just another dinner or gift. I wanted an experience, something that would show them how much they truly mean to me. That's when the idea of the cruise came to me. My parents had always talked about going on one someday, but they never actually did. Money was always tight, and they would rather save than spend on themselves. So I started planning in secret. I saved every extra dollar I could. I skipped hangouts, canceled a small trip I was supposed to take with friends, and worked late just to make it happen. For months, I kept it quiet, watching deals, reading reviews, and making sure everything would be perfect. When I finally booked it, an all-inclusive luxury cruise for the three of us, I couldn't stop smiling. I imagined the look on their faces when they found out. I pictured my mom crying happy tears and my dad giving me that proud smile he used to when I was little. It felt like the perfect gift, a beautiful way to thank them for the life they gave me. And honestly, I was just as excited as they would be. I thought this trip would bring us even closer together. At that time, I had no idea what was really coming. After booking the cruise, I could barely keep it to myself. I finally told my parents about it a few weeks before the trip, expecting them to be over the moon. And at first they were. My mom teared up and my dad said, "You didn't have to do all this." But there was something in his tone, a kind of hesitation I couldn't explain. As the days went by, their excitement started to fade. They didn't talk about the trip the way I expected. Usually my mom would go on and on about what to pack or what dresses to wear. But this time, whenever I brought it up, she would just smile awkwardly and say, "We'll talk about it later." My dad was even stranger. Every time I tried to confirm little details, like the check-in time or cabin layout, he'd change the subject. He'd suddenly start talking about something random like the weather or some TV show. At first, I thought maybe they were just overwhelmed. Emotional about the anniversary or nervous about traveling after so long. I didn't want to push them. But deep down something felt off. The energy was different, like they were hiding something. Still, I told myself not to overthink it. I wanted to believe everything was fine. After all, it was supposed to be a happy time, right? A few days before the cruise, I was double-checking everything. Packing lists, travel documents, hotel stay before departure, all of it. I wanted things to go smoothly. That's when I noticed something strange. I opened the booking confirmation email just to review our cabin details. But when I looked closely at the passenger list, my name wasn't there. It showed only two people, my mom and my dad. At first, I thought it had to be a mistake. Maybe the system glitched or they forgot to add my name properly. I tried refreshing the page, checking the attached PDF, even searching my email for another confirmation. Nothing. Just them. My heart started racing. I called the cruise company to clear it up. I remember my hands shaking as I gave them my booking number. The woman on the phone checked, paused for a moment and then said, "I'm sorry, but there are only 2 passengers registered under this reservation." I froze. That couldn't be right. I booked it. I paid for it. My card, my account, my confirmation. How could my name not be there? I hung up and immediately tried calling my parents. No answer. I called again. Still nothing. I texted them both, no reply. That sinking feeling in my stomach just kept getting heavier. I sat there staring at my phone trying to make sense of it. I told myself maybe they just messed up the booking somehow, maybe they were fixing it. But deep down, something told me it wasn't a mistake. Something was wrong. That night, after hours of silence, my phone finally buzzed. It was a message from my dad. My heart jumped for a second. Finally, an explanation. But when I opened it, the words didn't feel like comfort. They felt like a punch. He wrote, "We didn't think you'd mind. It's our special time together. You already gave us the best gift, this trip." I just stared at the screen, reading it over and over. My throat went dry. I didn't know how to respond. Didn't think I'd mind. I paid for the trip. I planned it for all of us. And now they were telling me I wasn't even supposed to be there? It didn't sound like my dad at all. The message was cold, distant, like it came from a stranger. I wanted to call him right then to ask why, to make him explain how this even made sense. But I didn't. I just sat there staring at that text, feeling something inside me break a little. That one message changed everything. After reading that message, I just sat there in silence. I didn't cry right away. I think I was too shocked to even process it. My mind kept replaying the moment I booked that cruise. The excitement, the joy, the love I felt doing something nice for them. And now, all of that suddenly felt meaningless. After a while, the silence in my room got heavier. That's when the tears finally came. I cried like a child, the kind of crying that comes from deep inside. The kind you can't control. I felt completely invisible. Like no matter how hard I tried, I was never really part of them. I started thinking about all the other times they made plans without me or forgot to include me in family things. Moments I used to brush off as small mistakes now felt like signs I ignored. It hurt to realize that I had spent my whole life trying to make them happy, and they couldn't even make space for me on something I created for them. That night I didn't sleep. I just kept asking myself one question. Why wasn't I enough? A week later, after the cruise was over, my mom finally called me. She sounded cheerful, like nothing had happened. She started talking about how beautiful the ocean was, how relaxing everything felt, and how my dad even danced one night at dinner. I listened quietly, waiting for her to mention me, for her to say something about what they did. But she didn't. It was like I didn't even exist in her story. Finally, I couldn't hold it in anymore. I asked, "Mom, why didn't you take me? Why wasn't I part of the trip?" There was a long pause. I could hear her breathing on the phone, like she was trying to think of what to say. Then she sighed and said softly, "Your dad thought it would be awkward if you came. He wanted to invite your brother instead." My heart dropped. My brother and I hadn't spoken in years after a falling out. They knew how much that hurt me. And instead of trying to fix things, they just replaced me. Mom tried to explain that they didn't want any family tension on the cruise. She said it was supposed to be peaceful, just a celebration. Peaceful. At the cost of my feelings. At the cost of my place in my own family. I couldn't even respond. I just sat there holding the phone, realizing the truth. They didn't accidentally leave me out. They chose to. After that call, I sat in silence for a long time. I think that was the moment it finally sank in. I had spent my whole life trying to earn their love. Doing things, buying gifts, fixing problems. Thinking maybe one day they'd see how much I cared. But love doesn't work that way. You can't buy your place in someone's heart. You can't prove your worth to people who only see you when it's convenient for them. I realized I wasn't really trying to give them a trip. I was trying to feel included, to belong. That cruise wasn't just a gift. It was my way of saying, "Please don't forget me." And yet they still did. That realization hurt more than anything. It wasn't just disappointment. It was the quiet kind of pain that stays with you. The moment you finally understand that no matter what you do, it will never be enough for some people. After everything, I stopped trying to make sense of it. I realized that sometimes, peace doesn't come from fixing things. It comes from walking away. I decided not to plan any more family trips, not to keep chasing moments that only end up hurting me. Instead, I started thinking about doing something for myself for once. Maybe a solo trip, maybe just some quiet time somewhere far from all the noise. It felt strange at first, but also freeing. For the first time, I wasn't trying to please anyone. I was just trying to heal. I still love my parents, but I've learned that love doesn't mean letting people keep breaking your heart. Next time I'll spend my time, my effort, and my love where it's returned.